Just hear your part of your interview.
Senator Edwards, I understand that earlier today you spoke to the head of the CIA, George Tenet. Can you tell us anything about that discussion?
The thing that's clear to me is that they're making real progress, that we're going to identify who's responsible for this, and that we're, in fact, as a nation, going to hold them responsible.
We keep hearing that it's Osama bin Laden. How do we know that?
I can't answer that question. I'm sorry.
Maybe this sounds like a very dumb question, but are we sure that this was done by foreigners?
Well, I think at this moment, the public is certainly not sure. I think the director of our intelligence gathering activities feel like they've made real progress and have a pretty good idea of what's happening and who's responsible.
Could I just have a yes or no? Are we sure it's not foreigners?
I can't answer that question. I'm sorry.
Senator Edwards, you've had concern now for quite a while about terrorist attacks and had wanted more security. What should have been done? Well,
actually, Barbara, there are some of us who've been working on some legislation, a law, that's directed at doing specifically that. Senator Graham, Bob Graham, Dianne Feinstein, and I, along with others, have drafted legislation before this incident occurred that does three things. One, puts more resources, more money into fighting terrorism, counterterrorism. Two, coordinates all of the federal agencies, and I think there are 41 of them that are involved, who are involved in counterterrorism, and creates a terrorism czar to oversee that effort. And third, gives the director of the CIA more legal authority to do what needs to be done to fight terrorism. I might add, Barbara, I think that the people who've committed these acts on the United States, who killed all those innocent men and women and children today, underestimate the American people. And I think what they're about to find out is the American people are strong, they are courageous, and they are resolute. And our response will be powerful.
Is this war?
Oh, I think whenever we see the kind of attack we saw in the United States today, certainly if it were state-sponsored, it would be war, and I think we should treat it as an act of war.
How do we combat this kind of terrorism?
We need more money spent on combating terrorism, which is such a serious threat to the American people. We need to coordinate to make sure that all of our agencies are working together in a coordinated fashion to fight these folks. And number three, we need to make sure that the legal authority is in place so that the director of the CIA, the Central Intelligence Agency, can do what's necessary to fight these people.
Well, I must say he says some things which confuse me, and maybe in subsequent conversation with you got him. He said, if this is state-sponsored terrorism, it is war. And then he said it's war. So is he telling us something he knows about who sponsored this terrorist act? What I thought was interesting, too, was when I said, are you sure that this is a foreign act? You know, could it be domestic? And he said, I can't answer that question. And that's why I said, well, you know, a simple yes or no. I mean, are we sure that this is a foreign organization? So I found that, and I kept pressing it and couldn't get further. I found that, you know, confusing myself. Well, really
if it's state-sponsored, it is, but if it's an individual, it isn't?
Well, that's a technical issue, of course, as we've said earlier, because if it is state-sponsored terrorism, the United States is obliged under a declaration of war to do certain things.